Yes. Good.
Well, have you actually gone on a plane with one of those?
Yeah, no problem.
Okay.
Yeah, the only problem is it's hard to get on with a sharp thing. Oh, the question was, have I actually got on a plane with these? Yes, I have. To Montreal and back. I've actually built things on the plane. Yeah. You'll have to yell because I've got music behind me. Have I ever worn anything made with this stuff? Yeah. Did you? How many people here caught the eTextiles exhibit, the fashion show earlier? Yeah, there was a nice fashion show. A lot of people wearing LEDs. The only one I'm not a very good platform to demonstrate these things, but I did at one of the eTextile balls. I did make a kind of antidote. I'm kind of frustrated with the girliness of the motif here. So I made a thing called, this is called the lily pad. I made a thing called the bachelor pad, which runs on 110 volts and has neons for the lights instead of LEDs, and uses mercury switches for the inertial sensing. It's kind of a one-off joke. But yeah, I do like to wear these things for fun. But you know, I'm paid by the state of California at UC Berkeley, so to work on research on musical instruments, so I have to do some of this too. Yeah.
You have a big collection there. Is there anything like a comprehensive source for all the types of materials and threads that you might use?
Yeah, so the question is, where do we get the stuff? Is there a comprehensive source? Well, thanks to a student, I have to acknowledge, Yotam Man, who painstakingly numbered all the things we've made, all the threads, all these things. He's up to 10,000. I think we have the largest database of these things, and it's on the website at UC Berkeley. And I'll give you it's CNMAT, that's CNMAT, which stands for Center for New Music and Audio Technologies. So CNMAT at berkeley.edu. And there's a link on the front page. You click resources, and then you can open up into this database. If there's anything you like here, if you come up, note the numbers down, and then you can just look them up quickly. We tell you what all these things are, what they cost, where to get them from, who wholesales them, who retails them, how many ohms per square, etc., etc. But a better answer actually is the places you're buying electronic components are starting to sell this. So SparkFun just added this fabric and a stretchy fabric, and they have all the thread, and they sell all the lily pad pieces. The best source for all the rest of it probably is still lessemf.com. And the only one, which is to me the most useful of all of them, if I had to give up everything, it's the resistive fabric. That's still not retailed, and that's just nuts. I have no idea why. But it doesn't matter because you can just, oh, it is retailed? Eonics, yeah. Yes, he's got, yeah. So the question is, what is this coated with? I'll just give a little spiel on Eonics and cover the whole thing. So there's a guy in Pinole who studied, his PhD was with the guy that got the Nobel Prize for conductive polymers, which are revolutionizing everything. I mean, now, where's my conductive polymer sheet? They can make plastic, instead of silicon, they can make plastic LEDs, plastic transistors, plastic wiring. Plastics are far easier to manufacture in different shapes. So the first products you've seen that are using plastic are the new screens with the organic LEDs, and you've got organic photocells. Well, we're going to have everything organic. So anyway, this student has a company called Eonics. His name's Jamshid Aviani. He has a company called Eonics, E-E-O-N-Y-X. And if you mention my name and tell him you're interested in this stuff, he'll send you a sample pack, which will give you enough to get started. You might have enough in that pack probably to make something like this. And then you can figure out what you're really interested in. His materials, the really dark ones, are really conductive. You can make sleeping blankets out of this. It heats up. You know, you put power. It heats up in a very even, safe way. In fact, his company makes boot warmers out of them. And it's interesting because the harder you squeeze, the hotter it gets. So it only heats up where the pressure is. So it's interesting, that's the dark one, and the lighter ones are good for pressure sensing. And yeah, mention my name, and he will eventually, SparkFun, someone will eventually get it, and it'll be in the retail channels. Yeah. Cleaning the fabrics? Yeah, Leah Beakley's got a paper on that, cleaning all these things, and she's done multiple washes to look at it. Jamshid has worked, his latest materials are washable hundreds of times without losing their resistance. He's got several. He's just been able to find nanocarbon, so he's doing his new conductive threads with nanocarbons, which are much more robust. So now instead of me felting his material in, he can sell spools of threads with any resistance you want, and you can actually weave in the resistance in there. So yeah, the washability, again, so long as you dry them, so they don't corrode, all this stuff's washable. I just have to show this one. Actually, I want you to pass this round. That's silver, sorry, missed. That's silver, bamboo, and cotton, and it's beautifully smooth. It laser cuts very cleanly, and yeah, these are all washable and they're pretty robust. Susie, you had a question. No, the Eonic stuff is non-toxic, and I've never seen any problems with the skin question. The only one that has a problem there is anything plated with nickel. And actually, nickel is such a good conductor and so useful for the original applications. I would say half these things, even the ones that are copper, have nickel in them. So you have to be a bit careful. If I think it's about 15% of you are allergic to nickel. It's one of the few metals that has an allergic response. But if you stay clear of that, in fact, for conductive materials, if you can afford them, and there's not that much silver here, silver is the win. It kills germs. REI out here sells socks that have it in it because it gets rid of